Hello, good morning. Happy Friday. I wish it was a funner Friday in the news, Ted, but there's kind of a lot of stuff going on, you know,
There's
like
stuff.
there's some stuff. So I felt like we could do without as many laughs on Friday. Uh, so you're tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI Show for short, because we do bring you too much information. I am Manila Chan. That over there is Ted Rall, fresh out of deprogram. Welcome to all you deprogrammers. I hope you guys can stick around for this show as well. And like I said, we do have a few laughs here. We do it live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Please
As
be
opposed
sure
to
to
the
hit.
grim, somber deprogram.
It's yes, the much more serious, much more, you know, like John is certainly more straight-laced. He doesn't curse as much as I do.
No
Bless
one
his
curses
heart.
as much as you do.
That's true.
Not even me, and I curse a lot.
I do curse like a sailor. Although I have worked on that since I became a mom. Like
I gave up on that. I decided.
Well, I mean, I can loosen the reins more because, he's in public school and he's in first grade, and he was apparently flipping the bird the other day.
Yeah, I got in trouble for saying the H word hell in first grade. Yeah. I mean, so how did you handle the flipping the bird thing? Did you say, "Good for you, kid. You go get him"?
No, he was doing it. Okay, it was in the right. There's so many contexts in which flipping the bird is the appropriate thing to do, right?
Many.
Someone cuts you off, you flip the bird.
Except if you're in California, where you could be killed.
You could be shot
because they're crazy there.
That's true. Or if there's a young Manila on the road, I'll throw my hot coffee into your car at the stoplight. But there's that. There's also, between boys, like you guys like to flip each other off just for fun.
That's
right?
True.
Like, yeah, which us girls, we think that's really strange. But boys do that. Or like you're having a foot race with your friends. And again, it's another ingest move, and you lost, your friend won, and you flipped the bird. That is the context in which my son flipped the bird. He was laughing, but he flipped the bird.
Wait, what?
He was he was playing with his friends at school, like in a foot race, and he came in second, and he flipped the bird.
And he was kind of like, "Oh, fuck you guys."
Yeah. Like, but he's in first grade. Like, who does that in first grade?
Well, there are no bad kids. There are only bad mothers.
I don't flip the bird at home or like any place where he would have seen it.
He definitely got that from television, probably.
I don't know.
That's what happened.
I don't know.
Almost certainly.
I don't know. I'm curious to find out where he saw that. Maybe
Are
it's on TV.
Are you curious? Are you curious, really?
I'm a little curious. Like, where?
Not
like,
very,
I haven't.
Though, right?
Robbie, who is here by surprise today, who's an experienced dad as well. Robbie just says other kids.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, we'll blame the other kids.
In first grade?
Oh yeah.
I don't know what boy. I don't know anything about first grade boys. I was a first grade girl, and we didn't do that. So
you say.
I don't know. I didn't start doing that. I didn't start flipping the bird and smoking cigarettes until I was like 14, Ted. Come on.
All right.
So, all right.
Got started early on that lung cancer.
I was going to say, I never understood. I had, it was well understood that it caused cancer back then. Why? Yeah, why did you start? Okay, I'm going to ask you. Do you remember why you started smoking? Because it's mysterious to me. Like, why would anyone want to do that?
Just because it's a naughty thing, you're not supposed to do it, and another kid offered it to me, and I was like, yuck, this is gross, and I didn't really.
Like, oh, that's gross. I'm all over that.
I'm gonna try it. I'll try it. This is gross. I'll try it. I don't know why people like this, but then, like I've puffed it here and there just because other kids were doing it, and then I would say, junior year of high school, when I was studying for like my PSAT, I think, or maybe it was sophomore year of high school, something like that, where I was like really stressed out that I actually went, oh, there's something really satiating about this and a calming effect about the nicotine. And that's how it actually started for me. Was like stress related.
But wait, so one thing, okay, I've never had a cigarette in my mouth. So, I mean, to me, whenever I'm anywhere near them, and this was true when I was a kid.
But it was other kids.
They smell horrible, right? So
no,
how do you
not
get
to
past
everybody.
that, like, this smells like feces?
No, not to everybody.
Really?
It's not true for everybody.
It didn't smell badly to you?
No, it tasted bad, but it didn't smell. It never ever smelled bad to me.
See, when I see like Clovis's cat poo in the litter box and it smells horrible, I'm not thinking, I want to put that in my mouth.
No, but for some people, the smell of cigarette smoke or any smoke, like barbecue smoke or whatever, it doesn't smell bad to them.
Didn't you erupt into
you have receptors? Fits? Well, the first couple of times, but after a while, you're kind of like, oh, I see why this is kind of soothing. But back to the taste thing, I told you I wrote a paper in college about your taste buds, and they're labeled like different, like R417-35 or whatever. Yeah. But people inherit taste buds from their nuclear family, and if you have other smokers in your family, like I did, like my grandfather, then I was already predisposed to carrying that particular
is that true?
Taste, but yes, it's a proven scientific fact. So that's
actually super interesting. Yeah.
If you have people who tend to love sweets in your family, you may or may not have inherited those taste bud genes. If you like whiskey, like peaty, like really like musk smells and tastes.
See, that's my least favorite kind of whiskey. I like something that goes down smooth, like a smooth Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah, I like both. It depends. If it's too peaty and it smells like wood chips, I'm not that interested.
Yeah, yeah, that's my problem.
But I can do it because my palate, my grandfather's taste buds lends his genealogy to me, and me and my brother have that. Like we both like very smoky. So cigarettes fall right in line with that. And that's why I tend to prefer savory.
In Asia, I don't know if it's still true, but I imagine it's less true than it used to be. But Asian dudes in particular, they all loved whiskey and they all loved to smoke.
Mm-hmm. And so it gets passed down. You inherit taste bud palates from your family.
That is fascinating, Manila. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a little bit of science I learned 25 years ago.
I wonder if I have some genetic predisposition to not wanting to.
Oh yeah, you must.
I mean, even though my father smoked and my grandfather smoked too.
But your mother did.
My French grandfather smoked those. He rolled his own, and the Nazis cut off 4 of his fingers when they were interrogating him to get him to talk. It didn't work.
Oh my!
But he only had 6 digits, and he just used his one hand, and he could just roll a cigarette with one hand, like boop, 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 boop. And they were, of course.
So Grandpa was a badass.
He was a fucking badass. I mean, yeah, you just never wanted to be on his bad side. It would only be trouble for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all. You didn't inherit that. It sounds like you inherited. It doesn't even need to be like necessarly your mom.
You're saying I didn't inherit the badass gene?
His taste bud.
My recessive pussy gene came out.
You didn't get
my Democrat gene.
Granddad. Whatever. Your mom may have inherited her mom's genes.
That's true.
Or so, you could have inherited that side of the family's genes for your taste.
All dudes smoked back then, though. I mean, it was like,
yeah, but that's a social contagion. I'm saying for the people like me who I knew very young, I liked being around my grandfather and his fishing buddies, and they're all old men smoking cigarettes, like doing man things in the garage.
Yeah.
Right. like sharpening knives and axes and shit.
Sure.
And they're all smoking and drinking Johnny Walker Black Label. And I always liked the smell. And I would take their glasses away, and I would sneak little sniffs and little tastes of the Johnny Walker. And my mouth always kind of liked it, and I liked being around the smell of smoke. So it never, wasn't a bad smell to me. It tasted bad as a kid, obviously, but your palate changes as you get older, and
that's true. That's like, think about
toughens up.
Think about it, the first time you encounter blue cheese when you're a kid.
Oh, I still don't like blue cheese.
And it's like, oh my God, it's disgusting. But
no, it still smells like feet.
Now I like it.
I wonder if that comes from, because the Mongols are really famous for raising cities, just burn them to the ground. So I wonder if that's where that. I'm being serious.
I mean, it is my mom's side of the family.
They like the smell of shit burning.
Yeah, well, buildings and people, why not, right?
I don't know. I mean, that's not a
terrible theory at all.
My grandpa's mom was Mongolian, so the maternal side. So I mean, who knows?
When you're in China, you can sort of tell the Mongol or the Manchus. They're more angular than round.
And he was tall. They were
and
taller.
the women tend to be pretty. So there's that.
They were taller, and he was very hairy. My grandfather, like I said, but so he was like a man, right? Like he was a furry, manly man with like, missing tips of his finger and like getting into bar fights, and he was like a man. And for whatever reason, here's little me, and I preferred those same tastes that Granddad had. Bitters, like smokes, musky, like I like those scents. So, that's how that came about. And all it took was some kid offering me the first couple of cigarettes at school, or not at school, but from school. And it kind of opened the door to how I started smoking. But obviously I stopped, and the taste,
why did you stop?
Because I was pregnant, Ted. Wasn't going to have some nicotine baby.
So then you could have resumed after your kid was
I've
born.
never gone back to cigarettes because you can lose the smell. I still have the desire. I think I'll always fight that. And I don't vape or anything anymore, like zero, but I crutched my way down, but it is something I'll continue to fight forever, for sure.
Really? You have when you're under stress or?
Oh yeah. No, just every time I have a freaking coffee, every morning I drink coffee and I smell the coffee, and all I dream of is having a cigarette with that coffee. So it's something I fight like every day. Yeah.
Ray has a question for you, Manila. He wants to know if you used menthol or regular.
Ooh, that's a good question.
When I was younger, in high school, when I was younger, like high school and college, I liked the menthol. And then as I got older, I just moved over to Parliaments. And then as I got even older into my 30s, and I knew I wanted to cut down on cigarettes, I started smoking the little ultra skinny, I forget what they're, not Virginia Slims. There's like another kind that was like ultra really, really skinny little cigarettes, like that only women smoke and gay men.
But those are
I
just
moved
Virginia
away.
Slims.
No, there's another brand that's ultra skinny. Like, I mean, Virginia Slims are like, I don't know, a 2/3 size of a regular
was partial
cigarette.
to those, and I could tell when my dad started dating because they started turning up in his ashtray.
Yeah. I moved to those.
There'd be a lady.
And then I went over to the smaller, the skinniest of the skinny cigarettes. And then I obviously found out I was pregnant, and I was like, goodbye, dear friends. My 20 little friends, goodbye.
Did you
I'm
stop?
gonna miss you.
Did you stop drinking as well?
No, Ted. That's why he's flipping people off in first grade. No, of course. No, fucking of course. Like I'm healthy, squeaky clean, fucking boring ass Manila now in my 40s. But
Good,
but yeah,
you'll live longer.
Yeah, that's kind of overrated sometimes. But as long as the quality is all right, then I'll stick around. As long as, but now that I have a kid, I guess I have to live longer to make sure that things are done right. But anyway,
recommended, yeah.
Anyway, we're too far into the show, devolving into nothing, but it is Friday and Robbie's here. And I didn't pick any topics.
We're happy to have him.
Yeah, I didn't know because then I would have added other topics that you could have chimed in on. But we'll do that.
This was a surprise. Basically, what happened, I had my exit interview yesterday. And because
was today supposed to be your last day?
Exit interview is such a funny ritual.
Well, tomorrow's because I was going to work overtime tomorrow. That was the plan. I was going to work today. Then because I'm such a dipstick, I was going to work overtime tomorrow to set the department up so that way next week they're going to do it smooth. Well, we had our exit interview, and of course, they've read the resignation letter that I submitted, which was fun.
Well, which was very, very. It made the mistake of being honest.
Well, it wasn't a mistake. That was deliberate on my part. But anyway, the HR person is like, so I would like to know specifically what is it about your management that you feel is inappropriate. Now, keep in mind, they're all in the same room with me. And I said, well,
including the people who you're complaining about.
Oh, yeah. The director, my immediate boss, and her boss. And I said, well, I mean, to put this as bluntly as possible, if you put the three of them together, they couldn't make a beer fart in a whirlwind.
You didn't say that, did you?
Oh, 100%. Have you ever met me? And so...
Come on, you know he said that.
And so that was... I mean, they just went white, got pissed off, and I said, no, they think that being little tyrants, acting like little Nazis, makes them look like a strong, independent woman and a fierce leader. Really, all it does is just it fails to mask their incompetence from someone who has any activity going on upstairs. And so the problem with your management is that they're stupid.
So they decided that would be your last day. So
they did.
Essentially, so let's just go through. Let's go through this ritual. Okay. As Jack Nicholson famously said, you can't handle the truth. So you quit, you resign from your job. They say,
correct.
In the interest of improving our atmosphere. So since you can be honest, since you're leaving, please be honest and tell us what we're doing wrong so that we can step it up for the remaining surviving employees. So then you're honest. And by the way, scrupulously polite. I read the letter. It's extremely polite, and very professional. And then they're like, you were honest. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. You can't quit. You're sort of fired. Bye.
Is that what they kind of did?
Well, I mean, they said, well, you can go ahead and just go and take tomorrow off. We'll go ahead and call this good. Just go ahead and leave your badge here. And the HR lady was just like, I've got to say, this is the most entertaining exit interview I've ever had.
Oh, that's good.
She said that?
She said that.
She sounds great.
Well, I told her, I said, no, we had an employee engagement survey, I guess is the best thing to call it, a month ago after my last sensitivity training that I went through and obviously failed. And I said, the reason why y'all only have 52% of your employees responding is because people are either afraid that they're going to be punished for it,
clearly,
or they're going to say that, or they're going to assume that they're just totally apathetic, kind of like the American electorate, just assume nothing's going to change.
Because nobody cares.
In which case, both cases are correct. So only in a company that's this dysfunctional would you consider that a victory. Whenever you have someone who's actually telling you the problems, has been telling you the problems now for over a year, some person doxed me for. Keep in mind, I worked in medicine. It's like, so you're going around trying to tap dance, saying, in a hospital that there are multiple genders, and that biology needs to take a back seat. And it's like, I'm sorry, a dude cannot get uterine cancer, and a woman can't get prostate cancer.
He gets deuterine cancer.
So the fact that y'all can't even get this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but no, I mean, basically, I was very brutally honest. And they're like, we appreciate your time. But they have no bench because my boss is retiring in 2 months. There's no one else to do the job. They're totally fucked.
Your department boss.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a strong chance you will hear back from them. They will.
I will tell them to go to hell.
They will want you back.
They can want all they want. I'm done.
Yeah, but if they wanted you back, that would be your chance to push back and say, I want full work from home status. I want this, this, and this. Otherwise, I
can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, you can.
Well, the problem is the problem is that they still don't pay anything. I mean, the whole reason I started doing the side hustle, the Putin bot gaming, everything else is because the wages don't keep up the cost of inflation. So why would I go back to that, chain myself to that cubicle whenever I could just grow my business and hang out with y'all all the time and be dox proof?
That's true.
Well, I mean, hopefully all the shows that you're producing now are continuing to grow, and that becomes something we can all do as a regular job. So with that, we better pause it there, Robbie, and I'm going to send you to the background. I got to read an ad from our first sponsor.
You do that.
All right. Hey, you. There's this video. It's from Chuck Norris. Yeah, it was insane. He's in his 80s and he still feels like he's in his 50s. It was pretty shocking. He had some pretty cool tips in there too on what he's doing, including these 3 foods that he avoids like the plague. He explained all the things he was doing. It was super simple. They're so easy and you can do them right at home. When I first saw this, I knew I had to share it with you all. Since what happened to Chuck could also happen for you too. But with any new method, of course, your results can vary. But the video is definitely worth checking out. Watch his method now by clicking the link in the chat or scanning that QR code on your screen. You won't believe how simple it is. And Ted, I'm willing to bet old Chuck probably doesn't smoke.
I would. Well, he wouldn't be 80 if he did.
Maybe. Yeah,
I suspect not.
My great grandfather, the grandpa that I'm talking about, his dad, who lived in the old country, who stayed back in Laos, he lived to be like 102 or so. He outlived his son. He lived to be over 100 years old, and he smoked the 555 brand cigarettes every day, had at least 1 cup of Johnny Walker Black Label every day, but he tended to his farm and just lived a simple country life. He lived to be over 100. He was thin, otherwise very healthy.
Look, it can happen. It's not 100% that smoking kills you, but it's, it greatly, obviously, vastly increases your chances, obviously.
I just sometimes have to wonder if it's like just that it's the American brands, if it's the American stuff.
They have lung cancer. Believe me, they have lung cancer in Asia. Trust me.
But I mean, is it that they're, I don't know, back then, maybe their products weren't as full of carcinogens as like American stuff. But certainly the fact that he lived, an agrarian lifestyle on a small farm.
That helps.
I think that played a lot into it. But anyway,
no
okay,
question.
with that, let's get to why the thumbnail, which I thought was kind of spicy of me, Ted. You liked it.
Spicy's good. We like spicy.
Spicy for a Friday.
All right, Jaws.
All right, let's do it.
Are we Jawsless?
I already hit the Jaws.
I didn't hear any Jaws. All right. I'll take your word. I won't Jaws explain. All right. Tokyo and Beijing, the capitals of Japan and China, are locked in a sharp diplomatic confrontation following remarks by the new Prime Minister in Japan, Sanae Takaichi, suggesting that a Chinese military attack on Taiwan could become a survival-threatening situation for Japan, opening the door to possible military intervention, because nothing bad has ever happened when Japan intervened with China. The comment marked a departure from Tokyo's long-held policy of strategic ambiguity over Taiwan. Takaichi's statement triggered an immediate and furious response from the Chinese. A social media post by Consul General Shui Jian described Japan's stance as interference in China's internal affairs and threatened retribution against the Japanese, comments that Tokyo formally protested. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Minoru Kihara called the message extremely inappropriate and lodged a strong protest while reaffirming Japan's adherence to the One China principle and the importance of stability in the Taiwan Strait. the row comes at a delicate time. Takaichi, a hardline right-winger, recently met with Chinese President Xi Jinping and pledged to pursue constructive and stable bilateral ties. But her recent actions, including a meeting with a senior Taiwanese advisor and her hawkish remarks, have reignited tensions not seen in decades. Beijing accused Japan of undermining its core interests and warned Tokyo to cut the shit, insisting Taiwan remains an inalienable
Was that a quote,
part.
Ted?
No, that's a paraphrase. An inalienable part of China. The crisis underscores the fragile geopolitics surrounding Taiwan, where Japan, the U.S., and China's military ambitions intersect. Analysts say Takaichi's remarks signal a potentially new era in Japan's regional posture, one less anchored in restraint and more in assertive defense and stupidity. While Japan's constitution prohibits the use of force except in self-defense, that constitution, of course, having been written by the victorious Allies after World War II, a 2015 security law allows for collective self-defense, meaning that Japan could help out an ally like the U.S. under certain conditions. Japan's only 100 kilometers away from the Taiwanese island of Yonagugi, making proximal conflict a real strategic concern. By the way, but Japan is not an ally of Taiwan, just making this really clear. For U.S. policymakers and military planners, the flare-up spotlights how regional dynamics may shift under new Japanese leadership. Now the question is, how will the Japanese balance their security commitments, trade ties with China, and public aversion to militarism? What began as a single parliamentary comment has now triggered a full-scale crisis between Japan and China, one with ramifications across East Asia and beyond. This is beyond reckless, Manila.
On whose part?
On her part. She's a fucking nut. Your thumbnail was completely spot on. I mean, who is she fucking kidding? Like, is she the Japanese? First of all, the Japanese think they can stop the Chinese from taking Taiwan if they want to. Good luck. And, I mean, China, among other things, is a nuclear power and has the largest standing army in the world. And obviously, if they want it, they can have it anytime they want. I don't think they intend to invade Taiwan at all. I think they're just going to get it by slowly Borgifying it until nobody recognizes the difference between Taiwan and China. It's going to be, it's just sort of cultural and economic assimilation is how that's going to work. So I don't think, but I mean, the point is, I agree that this is meant to reflect a sort of like, hey, World War II has been a long time. We're over it. We're now ready to send troops and out and about. And, we're no longer sitting here at home. We're back. This is about make Japan great again. This is that.
You think it's all bluster?
I think it's symbolic, and I think it's symbolism that has strong resonance in Asia, and everyone's going to pay attention. I think it matters. I don't think it matters really to Taiwan specifically. I don't think the Chinese are going to invade Taiwan, and I don't think that Japan would intervene if they did. If anyone did, it would be the U.S., and that would be World War III. But but I do think this is about sending a signal domestically and internationally to say, World War II's over. It's been almost 100 years. We now have the right to have a navy and to be more forward-looking more assertive in our foreign policy. So if some shit goes down, like let's say in the Pacific, and we're interested in it, we reserve the right to go and be involved. I think that's what this is about.
I'm with Adrian in the Rumble chat. It's because she's talking big because she believes that Trump has her back. She believes America has her back. And remember, under Shinzo Abe, part of I'm not justifying his shooting death, obviously, by an attacker on the street.
No, I should certainly hope not.
Never. No, but part of that dude's weird complaint, and many people that echo those same complaints, was that Shinzo Abe was the one who wanted to rearm Japan, right? And he was starting to echo some of the speech that we heard of the land of the rising sun, right? Like that kind of World War II era bluster.
Yep.
The empirical Japan, like that was
imperial.
Sorry, yes, empirical numbers.
Empirical is different. That's different. Yeah.
Empirical. But do they use the empirical system there?
No.
Is that where my brain is going?
Your brain is going. Yeah.
It's just going. Imperial Japan. Empirical. Imperial Japan.
I love malapropisms. It was one of my favorite aspects of All in the Family. Archie Bunker's malapropisms were hilarious.
Because they just come out wrong.
Trump is also partial to them.
Maybe it's just age, which doesn't say much for me because Trump is like 80. But anyway, so Imperial Japan doing what they do back then, Shinzo Abe started talking that way, and then they kind of whatever bill it was, I forget the bill that it was that he passed before his time in office ran up, and they moved forward because his party stayed in power up until up until right now.
Yeah.
Right? Up until right now. They've only lost one other time ever.
The Liberal Democratic Party. Yeah, it's Japan is not a true democracy.
No, of course not.
It is a one-party state.
No, of course not. So I imagine that it's not even Prime Minister Takaichi saying this. I imagine it's whoever her U.S. handlers are saying this and telling her, using her as a proxy, because the U.S. has been trying to. We had the pivot to the Pacific ever since Barack Obama, and that hasn't changed whether it was Obama in there or Trump in there or Biden, whoever. It doesn't matter. The pivot to the Pacific has been locked in for the past 10, 12 years. That pivot began under Obama, and we haven't moved away from that. China has been locked into our sights ever since then. And I think I suspect that whoever, the U.S., I don't know, for the lack of a better term, I'm going to call them her handlers. The American handlers are regarding Japan. They're the ones using her as a proxy to say this, because they've been cruising for a fight with Japan or China for a long time, trying to control. Same thing with the Philippines. This is why the U.S. is opening 19 more installations under Bongbong Marcos, is because the U.S. is trying to flex on China. And I think they're going to just use Japan as another means for that. And this lady is going to roll with the punches.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that that China has designs on Taiwan that way? They want it back, obviously. Look, Taiwan is historically part of China, obviously.
Yeah.
But the point is, and if I were the premier of China, I would want it back. If I were Chinese, I'd want it back. And I think a lot of Taiwanese people kind of know that they're coming back at some point. But do you think that there will be a U.S. style, invasion, like a D-Day style amphibious invasion of Taiwan, or a bombing campaign, or anything like
that? We would be completely foolish to do that if we did. I don't think.
Well, it wouldn't be us.
Not under Trump. Well, okay. Well, I don't think something like that, like a tangible invasion like that, like a kinetic thing that has our fingerprints directly on it. I don't think that would happen under Trump, because I think bombing random boaters in the Caribbean is as far as Trump will go. I think it's bluster, for example, in Venezuela.
What would the Chinese do that?
The Chinese, I don't believe will do that unless they're physically forced.
Right. I think that's right. Because
I believe,
let's just say they might do it if they had a really great, if they felt that the rest of the world was really distracted.
No, I don't foresee them doing some crazy, maritime invasion and Chinese frogmen show up on the beach in Taiwan. I don't see that happening. I think there's going to be other diplomatic and financial routes that China will take, and unless their hand is forced by some crazy means or another, I don't foresee China reacting in the way that the Japanese seem like they're trying to goat China into. It just, this kind of language coming from Japan at first, I mean, seriously, you have like no young people left on your island. Like, who's gonna fight your war?
Well, not to mention, I mean,
Who's gonna fight for you?
Honestly, like, look, it's, when the Berlin Wall fell, my friend called me at work that day and said, "Oh, how do you feel about this?" And I said, "I don't know how." I told him, and then I said, "How do you feel about it?" And he said, "Well, this is like the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young reunion concert. I didn't like any of their previous collaborations, and I'm not looking forward to West and East Germany getting back together." I feel that way about Japan. No one needs the idea of a militarily aggressive Japan, given what happened last time, is terrifying to anyone with half a brain, and I count myself among those who have half a brain. And it's like, fuck no, like just no.
Well, look, let's be honest. Japan circa 1930s versus Japan 2025. There is no comparison. Well, no, I'm saying, like, there's just no comparison in terms of military prowess, the sheer number of humans available.
Good.
Like, so they need to.
I'm not sure they should even have a country now that's independent. I mean, I feel like Japan and Germany both should have been occupied permanently by the Allies.
Well, I don't know which ally. Japan is occupied by the U.S. and that's why.
Well, it should have been occupied by their victims, like the Chinese.
This is the language that's coming out of Japan this week about China. I believe is all U.S. proxy, because I don't think Japan. They know better. They're 1/3 of their population is pure old people. Like they have no real standing military. So
it's true. They are old as shit.
So what are they going to do? Like, and have like a J-pop girl army? Like, that's all you have? Like cute little Harajuku girls, like going out there, like, I threw the bomb.
Hi.
Like, what are you gonna do? Like, come on. So this is definitely 100% U.S. proxy. This to me reeks of the Department of War, and I'm not just going to only blame old Petey Hegseth here. Again, this goes back to the Obama era with a pivot to the Pacific, and it's been cooking for 10 plus years, and they're just, it's not even up to Pete Hegseth. It's all the powers that the faces we don't know. It's not Trump. It's all the faces that control, like Boeing and Raytheon, and it's the people we never see. It's those people that are controlling what the prime minister is saying.
It's like the reason that like the Democrats surrendered even though they were winning the shutdown. We know why. I mean, basically, it's so funny, right? Like today, there's that airline advocacy lobby called the Airline Lobby Guys, which is called like Airlines for America. And they were talking about like how the aviation system is going to revive this week. I am never going to be able to hear Airlines for America, Manila, without hearing fuck your healthcare. If you die because you can't afford healthcare, that's on you. Because literally that's the Airlines for America is why the Democrats caved. Airlines for America's lobby called Chuck Schumer and the 7 little pansies who voted with the Republicans to fuck over Obamacare, as shitty as it is, better than nothing at all. And, and that's because there's literally like, it's hurting our profits. And so that's why. So it's like, it's a dark force. And that's what you're talking about. Like Lockheed Martin, be like calling the Japanese and be like, you guys should be more assertive. And, by the way,
especially the new lady boss.
I've got just the thing for you. Yeah, as a lady boss, you're going to need a little more swagger than the dudes. Otherwise, they might just think you're some dumb chick in a dress. But what could really fucking fix that is some, F-22 fighter jets would fucking wouldn't you look great with a few of those?
You should really threaten to piss on Xi Jinping. That'll really assert your place as the new lady boss.
And, you could always use some economic stimulus, and, nothing says economic stimulus like war.
Yes.
So,
So I'm going to hit up some of the comments here. Peter in the Rumble chat, we're still occupying Germany and Japan with a veneer of democracy for the populace. 100%.
Fact.
Spot on. Tony J in the YouTube chat, Japan in 1930s was starving for oil, one of the main reasons for the war in the Pacific.
Well, and because the United States had imposed a naval blockade to deny oil to the Japanese. In fairness to the Americans, I don't think they should have done this, but in fairness to the Americans, the war in World War II in Asia really begins in the 1930s. We think of it as 1941 with the Pearl Harbor attack. But
right. It was the 1930s. That's why I said Japan
in 1934, right? When Japan
empirical
Japan invaded Manchuria, and then later on Eastern China, and then bombed the shit out of Shanghai, and then of course the 1937 rape of Nanjing, which sounds like it's a metaphor, but it's not. It's literally the rape of Nanjing, where the Japanese army troops systematically butchered and raped hundreds of thousands of Chinese women in the streets, usually before murdering them and forcing their husbands to watch before they murdered them as well. Iris Chang was the historian who wrote the book, The Rape of Nanking, as it was called at the time. Now it's Nanjing. And she was so disturbed by what she learned as a researcher that she took her own life, because she got.
But did she cite that was why?
Yeah, she got so depressed because it's just like the lady who did the book about the Golden State Killer. Basically, just like she went down, these women went down the rabbit hole, and they discovered just like how not only how fucking evil human beings can be, but on top of that, that no one gives a shit. And that last part is what drove them over the edge. Like, I don't know if I want to live in a world where, people just don't care about such things.
Oh, I get that. That is some dark, not fun Friday.
No, that's Friday.
So, oh, geez. Okay. Well, let's move on to, it's not fun, but I mean, it's keeping up with the theme. Let's just keep it up with a theme of like shitty shit. So a major move from the Federal Reserve is raising eyebrows across the financial world, Ted. The Fed has pumped more than $50 billion into the U.S. banking system in one single day to stop what officials fear could become a short-term credit squeeze. This happened through the Fed's standing repo facility. That's a tool designed to give banks instant cash when they run low. Think of it like an overnight liquidity lifeline. Banks hand the Fed treasury bonds, and the Fed hands back cash fast. But here's what's grabbing all the attention. The size of the request. At $50.35 billion, this is the largest use of the emergency repo window since the facility launched in 2021. And it follows similar injections over the past week, totaling more than $125 billion. Economists say the banking plumbing, the short-term borrowing markets banks rely on every single day, is showing signs of strain. Month-end pressures, drained reserves, and high interest rates are all tightening the system all at the same time. Financial analyst Henry Jennings put it bluntly, this shows stress in the plumbing of the U.S. banking system. So what does that mean for us, right? Like us Joe Schmoes. When banks struggle to access cash, they start tightening the credit that they extend to everyone else. That can mean tougher small business loans, slower mortgage loan approvals, reduced access to credit for consumers, and rising borrowing costs across the board. In other words, if banks pull back, the broader economy will feel that pinch very quickly. So the Federal Reserve says the move shouldn't alarm anyone. Calm down, as Jerome Powell said. Keep your panties on. This is simply the system functioning as designed, says the Fed.
Don't worry about a thing. Everything's cool.
Everything's fine. Just breathe this in and drink. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
The
The more you drink, the better.
The repo facility exists to prevent small hiccups from snowballing into full-blown crises, but others aren't so convinced. Why? Because we're seeing massive liquidity injections at a time when the economy is supposedly stable. Remember, Trump is a stable genius. Unemployment is low. Inflation is elevated. And interest rates are high, conditions that normally keep banks cautious but functional. So is this a preventable tune-up or the first sign of deeper financial fragility? Right now, it's too early to tell, but one thing is clear. The Fed is paying very close attention to the wiring behind America's banking system, and now Wall Street is starting to respond this week, Ted. So I guess maybe you can compare it to like if somebody's like a big gambler, a big spender, and they've got all these, they've been winning, right? And they just suddenly take the chips to the window and are like, I gotta cash out. I need this cash now. Something's up, right? And obviously, when you're in Vegas and a big spender does something like that, there's usually a bevy of beautiful women and a well-dressed man will show up and be like, sir, what's going on? Like, hey, why aren't you at the tables? Like, hey, what's happening here? Why aren't you still at the high roller room? So they smell something up. What do you think that is? You worked in banking. Why? First of all, what the hell is this thing? I'd never heard of this because apparently it only opened in 2021. What is this facility called the standing repo facility?
Yeah,
what the hell?
This is a new thing that seems to have. Look, this is not entirely new. Obviously, the Federal Reserve Bank has always pumped money into the big banks. Probably the most famous example in recent history, Manila, was the $7.7 trillion that Obama wired to 5 large banks like Citigroup, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and so on, JP Morgan Chase, in the immediate aftermath of the 2008-2009 subprime mortgage crisis financial meltdown. And basically, literally, they wired the money without even so much as an IOU from any of these banks. Right. It was literally like, here you go. Just, you need money. If you don't have money, you're going to collapse. You're going to take us with you. So here's this money. Obviously I had criticism of the way this was done at the time, as most of us did. And, but that's, it used to be a more informal process, partly because of the political criticism that followed the way that was handled, sort of like, it's just us old white men doing old white men shit. Even if it's with a young black guy as the president, it's still old white men doing old white men shit. So it was like, all right, let's formalize this arrangement. So that's what this is. It's basically the same exact thing, but it's a little bit, it's more, it's gussied up to make it sound official. Okay, so what's going on? It's very simple. Why would the banks not suddenly be running low on cash? They're running low on cash because they're lending more than they're receiving in deposits. These days, there's not really much inducement to park your money in a bank because interest rates are so low that, aside from
there's
security,
no incentive.
You don't get anything, right? So most major investors, or any, for that matter, middle investors are parking their money in like the securities markets or crypto or whatever. So, and real estate, of course. What's happening is they're lending a lot of money. And so what does that mean?
It sounds like they're going to tighten up now. They're not.
You can interpret that in one of two ways. Yeah, they're either lending a lot of money recklessly, which means that there's a bubble that's being created. I mean, perhaps the AI bubble is part of it. 75% of all stock growth in the last 2 years has been caused by the AI bubble. So it could mean that bubble is about to burst. It could mean nothing at all. It could mean, the lending business is booming, and, kind of like a car. You used to sell cars, Manila. Like if people be buying lots of cars, then you run low on cars to sell at the dealership. You're sorry, I only got the purple one. And it's like, and it's like but that doesn't mean business is bad. It means that business is so good that you're running low on inventory. And when you're a bank, your inventory is money. So it could mean that. So I hate to be Weasley about this. It's certainly worth paying attention to. It is not like it's not a blinking red light. I would say it's a soft yellow blinking light, like on your dashboard, that says you might want to be thinking about that oil change soon, but it's not like imminent. It's not like the engine's going to catch fire or anything. But, time for a tune-up, maybe at some point sooner rather than later. That's what this is.
Okay. I just don't like when I hear that in 2021, so this is Biden era, in 2021, that they opened up a new thing, the standing repo facility, because to me that's just another. If you're opening up a new thing, making a new thing, creating something out of nothing, it's another way to launder American taxpayer cash. And in this case, Americans' savings and whatever. It's still our money. It's just another way to filter it through, launder it somewhere so it can be repackaged and repurposed as something else. And like you said, I'm glad you brought it, the housing crash and subsequent everything crash in 2008, because I feel like that's when they came up with all of these fun new names for, like all these types of different loans and subprime this. And you don't want to call it subprime, because then people are going to feel offended that their credit isn't good. You want to name it secondary lending. You want to you got to give it a better name. So I don't know what.
Or derivatives, which sort of don't really mean anything.
Don't mean anything. It's just like, I'm going to call this color, like, you ever, Ted, you ever like buy like cans of paint?
Of course.
And they fucking name them weird shit like,
oh yeah,
like
of course, like
elk's tooth. And you're like, what? I don't know what an elk's tooth looks like.
No, by the time you see one, it's probably the end of you anyway.
So it's like that. The banking industry does that, and they're like, oh, and this one you can, this one's called summer ash, and you're like,
and you're like, oh, what's that?
What is summer ash?
Yeah, could you say navy blue?
Right? Is that a blue? I'm looking to go with a warm tone in my house. Like, can you show me? Can you tell? Like something, not an
something
eggshell.
That makes fucking sense. Yeah.
Right. But they're like, yes, warm summer ash then. And you're like, what is that?
You're like, what?
That's what happens with banking. And I feel like the Fed came up with this new standing repo facility to like hoodwink everybody again. And I feel like, to me, that's a red flag that there is another 2008 coming very soon. Just because you're coming up with creative names.
Well,
that's the red flag to
Manila,
me.
It's capitalism. So, capitalism is is always a boom and bust cycle. I mean, that's just how it is.
Well, that's a shame. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Okay. New research at Weill Cornell Medicine is turning the dementia world on its head. Isn't the dementia world already on its head? And it all comes down to tiny structures inside our brain cells. Scientists now say that they found a direct causal link between memory loss in dementia and the failure of mitochondria, the microscopic power plants, so-called, that fuel our neurons. Their findings, published this week in Nature Neuroscience, suggest the root of cognitive decline may begin much earlier and deeper in the cell than we previously thought. Here's what they found out. When mitochondria in the brain break down, neurons pay the price. They lose the energy needed to function and start producing harmful byproducts known as reactive oxygen species. I had a reactive oxygen species. I was married to her for years. That combination, low power and rising toxicity, appears to spark the very changes seen in Alzheimer's and related dementias. The team looked at aged human brain tissue and several animal models. They repeatedly found damaged mitochondria concentrated in regions essential for memory and learning. To test their theory, scientists engineered mice with impaired mitochondrial activity, specifically in the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. Within weeks, the mice developed memory problems like, what was that cheese thing called? I don't even remember.
What flavor was that, John?
God, are
Do
cats
I like
good
cheddar?
or bad? I can't remember. Strikingly similar to early dementia. But here's the part making headlines. When researchers treated mice with a molecule designed to restore mitochondrial function, their memory actually improved. Didn't stabilize, improved. Lead author Dr. Todd Greenberg says this shifts the entire field. For decades, dementia research has focused on clearing amyloid plaques or tau tangles, the usual suspects in Alzheimer's disease. You could even see them when you do an autopsy visibly on the brain. But this study suggests that those are just symptoms, not the main point, not the cause. As Greenberg says, we may be dealing with a power failure long before we see the plaques. If confirmed in humans, implications could be enormous. Mitochondrial decline is a factor in many neurological and metabolic disorders. A therapy that restores cellular energy could potentially slow aging in the brain, strengthen cognitive resilience, and change how we approach diseases like Alzheimer's. Researchers say that human trials are still years away. And of course, there's major questions about safety, long-term effects, and delivering treatments into the brain. But this study is one of the most promising developments in memory research in years, offering a new angle and possibly new hope in the fight against dementia, which, Alzheimer's killed my mom. So I do care about this.
Yeah, that's why I put that story in there. It can't be for a fun Friday.
But I think it's a fun Friday. It's actually, it's positive. What do you mean? It's like,
well, I guess
what's better?
No, yeah, I'm so glad that they are finally looking into what is happening, what parts of the brain actually do what. Because you know what? Here's the scary thing, Ted. And I think a lot of people, we put so much stock in especially, I'm not going to say which party, but one party more than the other really trusts big medicine, right? But this actually should serve as a reminder about how little we actually know about the human body, right? Despite how it's marketed and despite how, we say all this science and Western medicine and we know everything about everything and we could fix everything. It just goes to show we can't, this is a problem that is sure to plague if you live long enough, 9 out of 10 old people will have this, right?
For sure. No
if
question.
if you live long enough, you will have this. And it's amazing that how little we actually know about it in this day and age. So to me, it's kind of yes, thank you. Somebody's finally looking into something that is guaranteed to affect all of us should you live long enough. It's going to happen to you. So, my grandmother had Alzheimer's and I watched this. She had Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And I cared for her, between me, my brother, and my mom, and then some of my mom's siblings who lived, in the area. We all kind of took turns in caring for her. And it's such a horrible disease to see somebody. I mean, it's not even just that they've lost their mind and they're saying crazy shit. She used to say crazy shit, but then at some point grandma wasn't even there anymore. You know what I mean? Her personality was gone. It's just a shell of a person sitting there staring into space.
Yeah, they're basically dead. They're dead.
Yeah.
But they're zombie. They're dead.
Catatonic.
They're alive, but there's no one home.
Yeah, it's so sad. So anyway,
it's depressing as shit.
It's good news. It's good news.
We don't even know if they're in there or not, right? I mean, they might still be in there.
What if they're trapped in there, Ted?
Well,
Have you ever? I used to think that.
Oh, I
used to wonder.
I thought the only way to handle my mom was to assume that she was still in there because,
really?
What if? Yeah, because if morally, what if you're wrong? What if you don't? You know what I mean? You have to assume that.
I hadn't not at the time, and this is obviously, no pun intended, like a post-mortem on grandma, but at the time, I just, this is like 2011 when she died. I just kind of figured at the time that from what we knew about Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease and all of that, and dementia, that it steals the person. And like, what happens, like, for example, when your bike gets stolen, you never see your bike again, right? Like, or when kids get kidnapped, 99% of them, you ain't never going to see them again. They're gone. So when these diseases promise that your loved one, has been stolen from you, they're robbed of whoever they are, we just kind of resigned to the idea, like, okay, like she reached a point now that there aren't flickers of grandma there anymore. She's gone. Like she's just catatonic and there. So we just resigned to that idea. But then after she did pass, I began to wonder more and more, like, what was she, is Alzheimer's and dementia, is it actually like a mind trap? Like, is there something blocking? And maybe this is like a metaphysical conversation too, and like a spiritual thing, but was she in there, and was there something, a physiological thing that's trapping her, the effect of her in her head somewhere? Was there something? And this tells you there might be, like,
almost certainly. Yeah, it's a block. I mean, basically, look, I used to think of it as a short circuit. And have you ever had a car or a mechanical object that had a short circuit in it? I did. I had a 1966 Plymouth Barracuda, cool car. And it had a short that took me like a year to track down exactly where it was. It turned out that the dipstick for the oil had rubbed against some wire, and the wire was like, so I would touch the hood and get a small shock. I remember driving in Chicago on the loop, and I discovered, and suddenly the windshield wipers came on without being asked at all, unprompted. The lights came on like really, really bright, like brighter than ever. And then like when I stopped the car, it like wouldn't start again, right? So it's just like weird shit like that. The engine would start racing for no reason. Basically all the parts of the car were still there. Everything worked well, but the electrical system was fucked up. And your neurological system, your nervous system is powered by neurons and by, electrons, right? We're electrical systems. Human beings have a lot of parallels to cars, right? We have a skeleton, which is like a chassis. We have fluids that circulate like through tubes the way that a car does. And I've always felt that for me, the analogy was that a car, that like someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, their parts are all there, but they're just fritzing. Like Joe Biden's still there. You know what I mean? Like
he's on the fritz.
Yeah, it's just that like shit sort of is
short circuiting somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I'm just really happy. Like, Ted, that gives us hope, that because it sounds like genetically in our families, we're both bound to completely lose our shit and go batshit crazy, Ted.
Yeah, so
genetics.
I'll be first, so you can just kill me. I'm giving you permission here on the air to blow my brains out.
Okay, you guys heard that.
You have a gun. In fact, I'm not giving you permission. I'm actually ordering you to.
Okay, you guys heard that.
Because I do not want to. I'm going to, like Ernest Hemingway was around my age when he started to suspect that he was no longer all there.
Really?
And he was just like, yeah. And then he was like, okay, fuck this, I'm out. And he blew his brains out. And I it was shocking. But, this was a guy who, like me, even though he was very physical, the life of the mind was like what he was all about. And he was like, just didn't want to become a drooling idiot. So
yeah, no, I've always said that. Like I have said that since I was young, and when my grandma started, it happened to her real young. So, I don't know which way I'm going to go. If I'm going to go with my maternal side of the family, who it seems like they all have some kind of mental disorder, like something goes on the fritz and they go downhill, Or if I might be like my dad's side of the family, which tend to die of cancer. But if cancer doesn't get them, at least they keep all their faculties. That's kind of the amazing part, is all the faculties remain. So I don't know. It's like a toss up for me, but I made very clear to all my friends and family that if for whatever reason I start short circuiting up there and it's like I'm gone, like that is not a quality of life that I would want for myself. And because I'm in California, you know, they do physician assisted suicide there. It's legal
in California.
Yeah, I know somebody that did that.
But you're not a legal resident of California anymore.
No, not anymore. But at the time, I was.
I don't think you can do euthanasia tourism.
No, at the time I was. I'm saying that I told my family this. I said that's what I want. I don't want to be a burden on my whatever future family I have, right? And if I don't want to be a burden on my cousins, my aunts, my whatever, my nieces, my nephews. I don't want that.
Your cat, your dog.
Yeah, I don't want to be a burden. So just get rid of me, recycle me, put me, in the literal.
Make sure you recycle.
Make sure you recycle me and grow a freaking Bodhi tree or something cool
for me. I knew you
wanted
some gay tree.
Yes,
she lived the way Ted. She died, gay.
Shut up, Ted. I think that's kind of cool. Like,
Yeah, like you're Californian. Of course you think it's kind of cool.
I think it's cool. I want to be a tree when I die, Ted.
You wouldn't be a tree. You'd just be like tangled up in the gross roots.
No, I would be nourishment for the tree. I would be birthing a tree from my dead body.
The tree's already there. You wouldn't be birthing anything. You'd just be.
That's not true.
You'd be a sucker for a tree. That tree would.
I would be providing nutrition.
Big
for
tree.
The tree.
You'd be big tree.
I would give my body to the tree, and I made that clear to my family, and I'm saying it again now on air. But
do they know you're gay?
Like, why do I want to be in a fucking box so I can be just like worm food slowly? Like
you have to do my method. I'm going traditional style. I want to be buried like an Egyptian pharaoh, with my own pyramid, and all the people close to me and my cat will be buried alive with me, screaming as the stone is pushed in front of them.
That's right.
I want the parts of my brain sucked out and stored in a vessel. Something modest like that.
I will keep that in mind when your brain inevitably goes.
I suspect that my wishes may not be fully honored.
Well, you do have a son, so even though you've appointed me the executioner, should your
executioner? Oh, executioner. Yeah, you're right. Executioner.
Yeah,
I have an executor already. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So technically, your son would be in charge, but you just got to let him know that you've got a friend that'll do it cheap.
About my pharaonic.
Your wishes, and that he's met me. He knows. He'll just let him know. Manila will do this cheap. Just
True.
Knock it out.
Yeah, just like out in the woods. Just like I'm one of Hillary Clinton's lovers. Just like
or one of Christy Noem's dogs. Just,
right. Speaking of which, this is not in the chat, but did you hear about the dog research? I thought that was fascinating.
What dog? Is it a sad one again?
Not at all. It's actually fascinating.
Okay.
We keep in anthropology, we keep finding out, Manila, that everything is older than we thought, right? So, for a long time, dogs were, man's best friend, the oldest pet, oldest domesticated animal.
Of course.
Then the current thinking is that cats actually predate dogs in terms of domestication. But
the pharaohs had cats.
But dogs are back in the race now, because it turns out that 10,000 years ago, there was a lot of diversity in dog breeds, which means that, in other words, maybe not the difference between a Great Dane and a Chihuahua, but human beings were already breeding dogs to look different and different sizes, and already had different breeds, and already had
10,000 years ago.
10,000 years ago, yeah, so they're able to determine this because dogs are buried more ritualistically. They're not like if you catch a squirrel 10,000 years ago, you eat it, you throw it away in a pit. But people liked their dogs, and so
yes,
they buried their dogs with some with some care, and the bones are better
course.
preserved as a result. So they were able to do this analysis.
Wow.
I don't know, I thought it was really cool.
No,
So it
that's
means
really
that
cool.
our
I
partnership
didn't know
with
that.
dogs is probably much older than previously believed.
Huh. Yeah, because I know with ancient Egypt, I mean, that goes back several thousand years, but
Yeah,
10,000.
no. Its current thinking is that cats go back 18,000 years. Basically, the thinking is as soon as we had settled civilization in the Fertile Crescent, the first thing that we did is started to store food. And when you store food, you get rats. And therefore, when you get rats, cats be coming around, and they're like, hey, you going to eat that or what? And people are like,
I'll take care of that.
People would rather live with cats than rats. So they invite the cats in to live with them.
Okay, well, that's an interesting tidbit. And we'll end on this piece of news, Ted. I guess I'm sticking all with like banking and like domestic stuff, I guess.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
So I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing.
We could have a Tuesday or something next week.
Maybe
to make up for it.
So the American dream is dead, Ted.
That's sad.
And I sound like Dr. Seuss rhyming. But yes, the American dream is dead. Coldwell Banker Real Estate released the 2025 American Dream Report, which found that a majority of aspiring homeowners, 71% of them, are delaying at least one major life decision. That's getting married, having children.
Welcome to our world, to Gen X
career
world.
Change. Even pet ownership. They're even delaying pet ownership, speaking of pets, until they can afford to buy a home of their own first. Coldwell Banker commissioned the Harris Poll to survey more than 3,000 U.S. adults, including nearly 900 aspiring homeowners, to understand how, quote, the American dream has evolved and how homeownership is prioritized among other foundational life milestones. The report found that among aspiring homeowners, nearly 1 in 5 are delaying marriage or having children until they can afford to buy their first home. That's number was 18%. 17% each are putting off changing jobs or careers or even getting a pet. So I guess it's the same number, 17% on pets.
You guys can afford a fish. Stop.
They can't afford a pet. Like,
don't be like that.
They want a house. So they're like, I can't get a dog.
Saving on not getting a fish is not going to get you closer to buying a house. Just saying.
16% are foregoing living independently. I assume that's living solo. I guess so they have maybe roommates or going with family. I don't know. I don't know how they define that. 15% are delaying starting a business or going self-employed. The survey found that for younger generations, buying a home may be the new starting line for adulthood. More than 4 out of 5 Gen Zs, these are 18 to 28, aspiring homeowners are postponing at least one life decision until they can afford to buy a home. So that's their priority. Wow. 4 out of 5 of them, including nearly 1 in 3, are delaying having children. So a third of them are like, I'm not going to.
That's not going to help the birth rate issue that Rodney always talks about. And Elon Musk.
However, more than half, 53%, of aspiring first-time homeowners don't expect to buy their first home until age 40 or older, which, yes, that is the national average now. The first-time home ownership age is 40. Back, in the 80s, it was like 28 or something like that, Ted. It was under 30. Suggesting milestones like starting families could be pushed back even further until home ownership is achieved. I'm going to skip over what these quotes are from the Coldwell Banker people. So 56% of Americans say home ownership is still representative of the American dream. So still a little more than half. That number has shifted a great deal. 42% of those people also say getting married and having children is also part of the American dream. 39% say retiring by age 67 is part of the American dream.
I would agree with that.
If
you want to, yeah.
A successful career or business, they say 39% of those say that's part of the American dream. And only 23%, Ted, say earning a college degree is part of the American dream.
I don't think it's ever been considered part of the American dream. It's been more like considered something that you need to do, but it's not like something that, is aspirational. I think once it's part of the American dream, that's going to be a problem. You kind of don't want that.
So I guess this still persists, Ted. Part of the American dream, it still persists that you owning a home, I guess, but it's obviously given all the things we've seen about, the fertility rates and what have you. And one thing is connected to the next, right? It becomes a domino effect. So I know, for example, I have a cousin who's in her early 30s in California. She's a school teacher. She, a couple, like 2-3 years ago, somewhere in the COVID era, broke up with her college sweetheart that she had been dating ever since freshman year of college. Right. They're college sweethearts. We thought for sure they were going to get married, and they seemed like a great couple. And our families liked each other, and like everything was great. We were like, oh, we're so happy for her. But so here she is, right before she turned 30, she was like made clear, like, hello, where's, we've been together for like 8 years, dude. Like, where's the ring? And he's talked about proposing or whatever. But then he said, I need to buy us a house first. I need to buy a house first. And he kept insisting, like, I need my career. First I need to get my career, whatever. And then I got to get a home. Then I got to get a home. Then I got to get a home. And then we can get married. And then, like, I want to marry you. I want to marry you. And I don't think, I know the kid, and I don't think he was bullshitting. But I guess, are they still millennial? Are they the youngest of the millennials? Is that the right age?
How old?
She's 31 now. Or she the oldest of Z?
I think they sound cuspy to me.
Yeah, so they're right around there. Either the babies of the millennials or the eldest of the Zs. But this fits right there in exactly what this Coldwell Banker commissioned research study finds, is what these young Gen Z boys are thinking. And I'm glad, wonderful. I'm glad that they care enough to want to have a home, and they want to provide all of these things for their spouse first. But because it's so unattainable, because of the price of everything, Ted, there are all these downstream effects. And so now she's like in her early 30s, and like, getting back out there. She spent 8, 9, 10 years or whatever with this guy, and he still doesn't have a home. She doesn't have a home. But you're never, like, when do you start your life?
It's a good question.
So when do you become a fully fledged functioning adult? Like, both of them still live with family, and they're like 31 because they can't afford to live anywhere else. She's a school teacher. Like, well, it's kind of like depressing, So I narrowly missed that. Oh, no, because I'm like 14 years older than her, so no. but so no. But still, I know a lot of people in that similar boat, because we're in California. I think it was it happened there first. The affordability crisis happened there first. So no one's getting married, no one's having kids, because they're like, I can't even afford to live to feed myself. So this is just evidence of that. And I can't, I don't know if we need to redefine the American dream, Ted, or do you think the American dream as is should remain what it's been for the better part of the 20th century?
I don't No, I mean, like, basically it was always home ownership and a decent job that was enough to pay your bills was always the American dream. Um, I mean, look, I believe more in having your own personal American dream. For me, my dream was always to be able to do what I want for a living and pay my
Mhm.
bills. And beyond that, anything is gravy. That's still for me, that's my metric as to whether I'm doing okay. I don't need more than that. And, you know, and I think, I think it just depends. It's all about what you're looking for. So, I don't want to
Yeah.
choke on it, but I do feel like it's, I mean, who cares what other people think the American dream should be? It's what you
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I've always been the same. I never dreamed of like, oh, I gotta own a Ferrari and I gotta have a mansion. And I never dreamed of those things. I dreamt of traveling the world. Check. I did that. I dreamt of being a journalist. Check. I did that. All those different mediums, right? I did that.
Hmm.
I I I didn't even dream necessarily of being a spouse or being a mother. Like, would it have been nice? Yeah, those are secondary dreams, but I had these other dreams, right? Like those are my dreams. Like and I did them. I never dreamt like, "Oh, I'm a failure if I don't own a home," but that's what my cousin's Gen Z or, ex-boyfriend,
Well, I
he
remember,
w would
look,
always say
Gen
that, like,
X was the
"I'm a
first.
loser, I can't buy a home."
Gen X was the first generation in modern history to not believe that they would do as well as their parents had. Um,
Yeah.
and 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 the fact is, I remember, like, I delayed marriage. I didn't get married till I was 31 years old. And I would have gotten married earlier, but I thought I was broke. Um,
Wow.
I felt like I was, stuck with too many student loans, and that
I didn't marry till I was
I
36.
felt like my income wasn't good enough. I felt like I just wasn't financially stable enough. I was like, I can barely fucking survive myself. And like, in getting married felt to me, as like, on occasion, I would need to be able to provide for two people or maybe more. And how the fuck was I going to do that when I could barely, support myself? And so, and that's not an uncommon feeling, even though traditional gender roles are supposedly on the ropes. The fact is that men, believe, and many women expect that, they're going to have to support their wives in whole
Mhm.
or in part, sometimes or all the time.
Even
And
in the
so,
90s?
oh, for sure. And even now,
Oh,
I mean, the truth is, women kind of like, they do still have those expectations of men. I mean, look, you can really
I did
tell
not.
you want to know how extreme it is. Look at all the women who in the dating pool are better educated and more gainfully
Sure.
employed than men, and they
Mhm.
complain they can't find suitable men. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, you can't find a suitable man because even though you're an investment banker, you won't date a really
Right.
good looking, intelligent, funny auto mechanic who likes to lick pussy, because he doesn't have a master's degree and doesn't have a fancy title like you do.
Right.
But he doesn't need a fucking fancy title like you do because you have that, right? But women
Right.
haven't internalized that you don't need both members, but they still don't view men that way as attractive.
I did. I was
But
open to,
most women
you
don't.
know
And like, especially yuppie women literally are like, they'd rather go without and be alone than
right,
be,
and be a spinster, and then even though deep in their heart they want a spouse, they want
yeah,
children,
I'm
they
talking,
want
yeah. And they literally are not willing because of what will the Joneses think.
right.
And so so the traditional roles are there. And I think that pressures guys a lot to think, yeah, I've got to have my own shit together before I can get married. And that's been causing younger
Mhm.
people, as increasing disparity of wealth, and fewer people have money. People have been delaying these big life decisions. I mean, people are literally like. So I remember I had a friend who, he was planning to get engaged, and I was already married, and I had already gone through this process. And he asked me about engagement rings, and he's like, Ted, so how much should I pay for an engagement ring? And I said, well, I mean, it's subjective, but I would say it's going to cost thousands for sure. I mean, that's just, a decent diamond's going to cost thousands. I mean, I paid at the time, I think $10 or $12,000. And it's like, he was like, how minimum? I'm like 2,000-3,000 minimum in the 90s. And he's like, that's ridiculous. Why the fuck should I spend that much money? What's the point of this? And I said, well, frankly, I think the point of it is like a test. If you don't have $2,000 or $3,000, you probably can't afford to get married. It's like a dowry. And I, and I think that's sort of the, where people are at. He ended up buying his wife a $15 silver ring from the street in the village. The marriage did last a whole month though, so it worked out great. Oh God.
Okay, well, like with my cousin, and this is exactly what this study was about, right? As people their ages, she didn't care, and she's told him over and over, she doesn't care if they own a home or they're just living together in a small apartment. Like, let's just move. Like, we want to be together, so let's move forward. Like, let's. And she's like a humble, elementary school teacher, and he's got these big dreams of like investment banking. He's one of these, right? Like, and he just won't let it go. So my advice to her was, that if he values the idea of having the home and having his career and whatever higher than 8, 9, 10 years he's spent already with you, then he is not the one. And you've already given, it's not a waste because you guys remained friends. Move on.
And you have life experience.
Right. Move on, but take the same values that you have applied to him, apply it to somebody else that deserves you. Somebody else that is gonna,
or that you're just you're in the right place for each other.
Somebody else that's gonna appreciate that you're not a gold digger. Somebody else that's gonna appreciate that you're a nice school teacher that wants, has these family values. Somebody else that appreciates the same things that you appreciate, because he wanted the house, he wanted the cars, he wanted all those things before he put a ring on her. And she took my advice, and she's, moved on. She's trying to date, but she's now in her early 30s with almost no experience dating because it was her college sweetheart.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. So now she's like, what do I do? Like, she's texting me over here, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what dating is like in 2025 for Gen Zers. Like, I'm not of your generation. In my generation, we still went to bars and men hit on you and buy you a drink. Like, you guys don't do that. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't.
You guys are different. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, oh shit. But she is dating, and I feel like she's getting out there, and I hope that she finds somebody in her age appropriate group that values the same things that she does, is that you will stick it out together. And I'm not saying you need to be poor on the street together, because you can't eat love. I understand that. But the reality is home ownership is out of grasp until there's a seismic shift in the institutional structures of housing supply, who can buy homes, like you brought up recently, like not letting all of these fucking hedge funds buy up all the properties. Yes. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's not you as humans, as Gen Zers. It's not you. It's keep your values and vote in a manner that is going to be able to help you achieve your dream.
Well, you can't vote your way out of that, because if there's only two parties and they both hate you. So
that's true. Nowadays, those two parties, are not going to help you. Are not going to help you get a home either.
Yeah, they're all corrupt. Those hedge fund companies that are buying up all that real estate, they all buy the politicians. So it's like,
they buy both parties. Yeah. Both parties.
Yeah, there's only two. That's part of the.
But I can't tell her that.
They can't buy all the parties.
You can't tell. What do you want me to?
What do you mean you can't tell her? You can't tell her there's no Santa Claus. I mean, there's no Santa Claus. Sorry.
I'm not gonna bust her bubble and be like,
As Ian Hunter once said, "Death will be your Santa Claus."
keep your values. Your values aren't the problem. Like, you're not the one that's valuing, like a glitzy car, like a Mercedes and a house, and that's your ex's values, not yours. Find somebody with the same values. It might take a while. It took me a while. But it happens. I have girlfriends that, and it's a California thing. A lot of the women were, I'm not going to name names, obviously, Ted, but I have some gorgeous friends, and some of them are exactly as you described, too well educated and too whatever,
Snotty.
right? That they
snotty.
And they
snotty. Say it.
snotty.
Say it's snotty.
Okay, maybe they're kind of snotty. They're like, I went to Ivy League schools and I went to whatever. And
the whole point is you don't need two people to have the same same person. I used to I worked for McSweeney's early on, and one of my favorite pieces I did for them was a parody of the New York Times wedding section. If you really want to be depressed, look at the New York Times weddings. It's always the same thing, like, so and so, both from Westchester County, both investment bankers, both who went to Wharton, and it's kind of like, wow. So there's never there's very rarely like a dude like my friend who, professor of theoretical Marxism, and his wife, the stripper, and they have a great marriage. And by the way, she's at least as smart as he is. It's not about that. I mean, the point is, it's like you don't have to marry yourself. If you want to have sex with yourself, jerk off. I mean, like get someone outside. Just throw a wider net. I know that obviously it can be hard to, it could be challenging to marry someone, for example, who doesn't speak English. That could be hard. But the point is, get outside of your comfort zone.
I agree. And that was always my advice to my single girlfriends. And this is when I was still single too. So it's not like, oh, I didn't have room to talk. I did. I was in that same boat, but I was as open to dating a millionaire as I was to dating a car salesman. It's just a matter of like, do we click, and do I want to tear your clothes off?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And can you go the distance together? Right.
That's it. Like, do we mentally click, and like, do you make me feel like I want to strip my own clothes off? Like, that's it. That's all. That's all. I don't care if you're a car salesman. I don't care if you're a Fortune 500 business owner or a tech CEO. I didn't care. But my girlfriends, meanwhile, and one I'm thinking of in particular, stunning, gorgeous.
You hot, shallow girl.
She wasn't shallow. It's just she was so picky. And then she used to tell herself that she didn't want kids. She didn't want to, she can get married, but she didn't want children, blah, blah, blah. But then as we got older. And then that changed. And suddenly she was over 40. And then she wanted kids, and she still had no man, and still, because she'd been
good luck with those. Good luck getting a bun in the oven at that age. I mean, the odds are very low.
Well, she's super hot. Another TV girlfriend, tall, curvy Latina, beautiful, super hot. I mean, any man would have just like jaws hit the table when she walks in a room. But still, she just didn't like anybody. She finally did get married. Just earlier this year, I forget. But she finally did get married. But now it's too late, because she's like, in her late 40s. So some of her dreams have gone out the window because she did the very things that you're talking about, Ted, that women, especially the well-heeled ones, are like. So
it's a problem.
Yeah. So that's why our birth rates are like, we created a very shallow society, and maybe homeownership isn't for everybody. And hey, let me tell you, homeownership ain't all it's cracked up to be.
No.
Just saying. Like, I don't care about homeownership, and because it's kind of a bitch, because then you have nobody to call if your shit breaks. That's all on you. That's
Yeah.
right. And you're footing the bill. So
that's all true.
All right. Anyway, we'll leave that there for your fun Friday. For all the singles out there, please don't be shallow. Please be open to what your true values are. That's all I'm going to say is know what you actually value.
And vice versa. If you're whatever, you're like, oh, I'm a beautician. No, rich guy will want me. That's not necessarily true.
I think men are actually way more open.
We've got to break out of caste.
Men are way more open. If you're some high powered executive, he would be way more open to dating the girl that does nails if they clicked. You guys are way more open to not caring about the educational background of the woman. You guys just hope that she's good looking and you guys click. That's all.
If she has nice breastises, it's fine.
Right. If she's eye candy for you and
so we're shallow that way.
You're shallow in a different way, but not women are shallow in the other way. And I just, given how society has changed and women are now out educated in the way of men versus women getting educations, women have out educated men and have out careered men. We have outfoxed the men, but yet we want them to still be able to provide for us. That can't work.
Yep.
It can't, you can't have it both. If you're going to be that person, the traditional male gender role, right? If you're going to have that male, wear that male hat, then wear it proudly and be okay with the man that's not the executive. Yeah. And be okay with being the breadwinner and just be okay with the dude that, that he changes oil for a living, but he cracks you up and he's hilarious that. Because when the shoe's on the other foot and the man is the executive, he is totally fine dating the woman at the watch store or marrying the woman at the watch store. He's totally fine with that.
True.
So anyway, one more ad, Ted.
Okay.
You can mute yourself and I'll read the one more ad.
Muted.
All right, there we are. Here we are from our final sponsor of the day because we've gone long. And it's morning somewhere, so you guys listen up. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped, only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for a clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin-free, and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Duh. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. Thanksgiving is coming up, guys. And a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, all yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Producer Robbie says it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. And I would say it's probably a good Christmas present. It's probably, Robbie says yes. It's probably a nice Christmas present. Probably a nice Christmas present.
It tastes good. I mean, honestly, right here in my coffee cup, and this is what my wife got me as a gift. Let's see if I can show y'all. So that's a gift that she got me for my for being free of the hospital, and it's really good coffee. I'm a big fan of the dark roast personally.
Yeah,
and I'm not being paid by Rumble to say this. I'm just telling y'all. I mean, I'm on Rumble.
Yeah, I can vouch. I know Robbie ordered it.
It's true. I vouch too.
Yeah.
So
it's just good coffee.
So Robbie, we'll have you back, right, on Monday.
I don't understand the idea.
I'm here full time.
Coffee, by the way.
I don't either.
You don't understand what?
Mushroom coffee.
Oh, I tried it.
What? What's mushroom coffee?
I tried lion's mane coffee. It's
the hell's that?
That's a mushroom.
It's a mushroom that the mushroom looks like a round lion's mane.
Yeah. It's a good mushroom.
Yeah, as a mushroom.
As a mushroom.
I have no problem eating
garlic
mushrooms.
and butter.
Well, it was personally that particular brand. I don't know about the 1775, but the particular one I tasted, not for me, tasted kind of dirt. Like,
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and break some news now. I have been talking to whoever it is that runs the 1775 coffee channel over on X, and I'm trying to get us an affiliate. So if someone buys 1775 coffee with a code I'm trying to get, we'll get a little commission off of it. So I'll let you know if that happens.
very cool.
But no, see,
Very cool, Robbie. Producer stuff.
Well, I've got more time now. Before I didn't. So now I do.
I can't hear you, Ted. Producer, he's doing producer stuff. Well, thank you, Robbie. I know like some of the big channels, like our friend Kim Iverson, for example, she advertises stuff and she says use code Kim for XYZ product.
Use code Clovis. Hey, so what does the coffee taste like? I like a strong coffee that you can stand a spoon up in.
Oh yeah. It's strong. So the ones that I get are the beans.
Coffee like Starbucks.
No, tell Starbucks. No, because I get the beans and I just grind them. And I was just kind of if it says do 4 scoops, I do 8 because my coffee needs to be able to walk around on it. Well, I don't sleep. You have to remember that.
Yeah, you can't have man style coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so
I do more scoops too, but yeah.
Just
I don't
double
know. People are asking about the mushroom, like Matina in the Rumble chat I want to try the mushroom coffee. I haven't tried personally.
What the fuck is mushroom coffee for?
But it doesn't have supposedly
caffeine, right?
No, it does. I don't know how. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know the formulation.
Listen, decaf coffee is like taking a shower with your clothes on. What's the point?
Yeah, that's exactly 100% right. Like, fuck it. Just drink water.
I just don't know. I don't know. All I know is the mushroom coffee that I tried was lion's mane coffee that was supposed to help with like cognition and be, do really good for like, I don't know, brain stuff. It's supposed to be healthy. And so I tried it and I was like, oh, tastes like boiled dirt. Like, this is not.
Oh, I have a question. So when are we doing our next Rumble Premium? Is it today? When are we doing?
No, I already sent it to you. You got to publish it for this weekend.
Oh no, I got that. But we have to do a couple more. Yeah, we need more because the month's coming up towards an end.
So we'll talk about it off air. But anyway,
let's talk about it over the weekend.
Yeah, we need something spicy.
Now that we know that you're back, you are the spice, Robbie.
That's true.
You are the spice, and it's nice.
Well, I know y'all kept me in the back. Y'all talk about birth rates and stuff. It's like, no, Robbie is not getting out on this one. No, I noticed that.
Yes.
Well, it's already an hour 45-minute show.
It's very.
What's
late,
your point?
That's why.
Are you do you have a date? Is there some place you're trying to go to?
The bathroom. I'm 62 years old.
Yeah, we got it. We got to go. So we got it. We'll tape a Rumble Premium.
Just roll Biden
We want to do one about a TV show. We want to do a TV show. Astronaut style. We'll do TV shows and some other stuff. We'll pitch the ideas. And if you guys, viewers, if you have any ideas, leave us comments. Tell us what you guys think. Like, pitch us some ideas of what you'd like to see a Rumble Premium about.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I want to do is have it where guests can call in and talk to us.
Yeah, for sure.
We can do that now.
Not guests.
Viewers.
Rumble
Premium subscribers will be able to call into the show and talk to us. I've got it set up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to have to learn about that.
Like a traditional talk show host.
Yeah.
Wow. Like Larry King Live.
Well, I can do well, the thing is, Manila, I can do my job now. Before, I mean, the whole reason I was always looking over to my right before is because I was doing both jobs at the same time. I can do my freaking job now.
Okay, you're going to have to teach us about all these new capabilities because I just learned how to do the Rumble stream. So you got to get us abreast to what technology is out there that we can add to the show. And that's a producer Robbie thing. And Ted, everybody's demanding proof of life from Clovis.
We need Clovis. Go get him.
Fuck. Okay.
Everybody's demanding Clovis. I told you Clovis Cam is what's going to get us all the views. Everybody wants proof of life.
I mean,
it's true. We haven't seen Clovis in like 2 weeks.
No, I mean, y'all just saw Fernie just a little bit ago.
We did.
Such a
So
horrible name for a cat.
I know, and you kept it. You could have changed her name.
I could have, but I mean, wouldn't that be racist?
I don't know if it's catist. Ray is happy. Ray's like, where's
Speciesist.
Clovis? Speciesist. I don't know. Well, a lot of cat fans in there. Regis and Kathy, did they take calls though?
Oh, we can do this.
Still in the
Ray, I will
You're
be
gonna
streaming.
have to teach us how this works.
I will be streaming later today. So I have a call. I'll be talking to a lady who may hire me to help her with her podcast at 11 Mountain Time. Once I get done talking with her, I'm planning on doing a stream, and I need y'all's help. Y'all tune in and chat with me while I'm streaming. That'll help me pay the bill.
Ah, there he is.
Proof of life.
Good.
He's in a bad mood because he was taking a nap.
Oh,
Finally.
Ted, all week people have been like, where's Clovis? Where's Clovis? Proof of life.
Look, here's the cat.
There's Clovis is fine. Hi,
Good.
Clovis.
Hi, Clovis.
Hi, pretty boy. He's a pretty boy. Look at his eyes. All right.
Such a beautiful
So
cat.
we'll end on that beautiful note. Seeing beautiful Clovis. He really is a good-looking cat, man.
You just kicked off my face.
Leave me the fuck alone, Ted. Everyone's asking where he's been.
This is the shit happened at Epstein's house.
No, this is the Lolita Express video. What is this? So that we'll end on that note. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for the extra long show with Robbie's triumphant return.
I'm back.
We're back,
Rested
and
and
we'll
ready.
see what new capabilities we have in the coming weeks. Oh boy!
Y'all join the Discord server. Here, let me post a link again.
Oh, you dropping the link? Okay,
Well,
I'll post
let's
that
do that.
up.
Let's not do that now because we're on the way out. So we'll do it.
Yeah, whatever.
Do it.
Post it in the
first
comments. So have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday. Peace out. Deuces, everybody.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Manila. Bye, Robbie.
Bye-bye.
Bye, all.